Hey y'all, this is Kim with Creative Escapades, and I got this pot a few months ago. Actually, it's probably 6 months ago. I think it was back around Halloween time last year. And I want to renovate it. It's supposed to be a fairy garden pot, I believe, and that's what I'm going to do with it. But I'm just going to paint it and just make it all better. So first I got to get these stickies off of here, and they're on here pretty good. So I'm going to use the old heat trick and see if I can get these off easier. So just all you have to do is apply heat to it, and this seems to be working. Just be really careful with your fingers because this heat gun is hot. Yeah, okay, that worked well. That was good. Okay, let's try this other one. This one seems to be stuck on here a little better. Okay. Oh, yeah, see, that's not going to come off easily. So, I worked on it for a while and applied the heat, and I still had to end up using my X-Acto knife to scrape it. But it worked a little bit. So, now I'm just giving the whole pot a sanding, and then wiped it down with some alcohol. And I want to do a dirty pour using kind of earth tone colors of greens and blues, yellows, some tan, and all the colors will be below in the description of this video. So gonna pour it on here and then just do a little touch up. And let you know something really quick. I worked for several days on this project, so there's going to be a lot of editing done on it that you're going to just see the results mostly. But this turned out well. I love these colors. They look good together. And I think it's going to dry nicely. So I want to, and you can see there I painted one of the lower pot blue. I'm going to make a pond there. But in the upper one, I want to do a little like tree house for the fairy. And I am using this silicone mat and Easy Sculpt A and B resin I'm going to press it down into this mat and try to get the look of bark and then a tree trunk. So you just take equal parts of A and B and mix them until they're incorporated together. And you'll be able to tell, because if they're not mixed all the way, you'll have streaky resin. So I'm making a little doorway here. And then I forgot to video the part where I took this off of the mat, but I basically wrapped the mat around a bottle, and then when it was dry, I pulled the resin off of there, and it gave me a gorgeous texture of tree bark. And this mat is actually for cake decorating, for your icing to make it look like a tree. And this will be in my Amazon shop along with the Easy Sculpt Resin. So this will be used many times in the future, I feel sure. So I'm just going to paint this, and then I'm going to paint the inside of the pot, just kind of a neutral color. And I'm using the same color on the tree trunk And then I'm just adding some brown to kind of give it the tree trunk look. And now I'm making a cone out of wire so that I can attach the greenery to make the treetop. And now I'm doing a second coat on the inside of the pot. I told you this was going to be edited. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to use this metallic sequin black on the stairs here. It kind of has a gold sheen to it, and it's not color shift, but it's really, really pretty. And then I'm also going to take this Primary Elements Bling It Gold Sparkle, and this is just the powder that you mix in with resin, and I'm going to just sprinkle it dry right onto the wet paint so that it will also give it some additional sparkle to the stairs there. After all, this is for a fairy garden. We can have sparkling gold on the steps if we want to. So there it is. It's got just little gold sheen to it. And now I want to add some more color to this tree trunk. And I have this color shift black flash, which has the gold in it. And I'm just going to take it and put it on my finger and just rub it over the high parts of the bark of the tree. And then it's going to just have just that little bit of a shimmer of gold that will kind of blend in with the stairs. You can see how that kind of shifts. 1 minute it's got a black look, and then 1 minute it's got a gold look. So I think that turned out good. And so now I'm going to put the styrofoam and the fake grass back into the two upper pots. And I'm just using a glue gun to hot glue them in place. Okay, and now I am making a chair and a table, and I'm using floral wire. I just bended it to make 4 legs, and then I used for the tabletop and for the chair seat and the chair back, I used resin drippings that had from a previous painting that I had done. So now I'm going to use this Easy Sculpt Resin again, and I'm going to make some more little elements, design elements for the pot. And I'm making a turtle. This is our friend the turtle, and he is going to be a friend of the fairy that I will be making. So that was the body. This is the turtle's head. And if you've never used Easy Sculpt Resin and Hardener, this stuff is fantastic. It's a little softer than regular modeling clay, but it's really easy to work with. And I'm using it on this parchment paper. Once it cures, it is so easy to pop right off of the parchment paper. So now I'm making the fins for the turtle. This was very delicate work, and it took me hours. But so this is the fast version that you're seeing. So there's his 2 upper fins, or legs, whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure what you do call him. There he is. He has a tail also. And now I'm working on the fairy. I've got the head done and working on the torso right now. And I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and cut about 3/4 of a way up on this piece of Easy Sculpt and on each side and make little arms. And then I'll continue to mold the sides, and also this fairy took me a long time to work on. She ended up having ringlet hair, and I did have a lot of difficulty with her legs, but I had to actually create them separately and then attach them. So the head is attached. And that's the fairy. And I made some wings. And then right here, see how easy this little turtle just, I didn't even really touch him. He just pops right up. Trying to be very careful because those, the fins and all are very delicate. There we go. Is he not adorable? I love him. And now I want to make a waterfall. So I'm just using this paper or this plastic that comes on a canvas, and I always save my plastic off a canvas because it's so handy to use with resin. And I've got my resin mixed up, and I use Stone Coat Art Coat resin, and I have this Just Resin Midnight Blue, and you can see how much I actually just scraped everything off of my stick, and I'm just using just what was left on there to color it because I don't want it really like opaque. I want it to be dark enough to look like the water, but kind of transparent at the same time. And then so I can get that waterfall look, I'm just crinkling my plastic up, and then I will allow the resin to cure just like that. And then when I'm ready to pull it off, it will look like a waterfall. So now I'm just adding some more depth to the goldfish. I already painted them on one time, covered them with resin, and painting them on again. And see how easily this just comes off that plastic? It's very easy. And there I got her first layer of hair on. Here I'm going to give the turtle some color. So we're using this Hunter's Green. And then I used some dark yellow to mix in. And I am adding some of the Bling It Gold powder to the fairy's wings. And here I'm adding another layer of resin to the pond. And I'm painting a little bit of color to the flower greenery that I want to use, and just attaching all the vegetation there. And I attached the waterfall, and then I used some additional clear resin to let it flow over and down into the pot so that it would have smooth textures. And now I'm just painting flower wreath. Going to add some of the gold blinget to the other side of the fairy wings, and I also made a flower wreath for the fairy's hair, and I want to add a little bit of the blinget gold to that as well. Now I'm putting on the top greenery to the tree. And we're going to add a little more white to the chair. Then once I get a coat of white paint on that, I'm going to add a second coat to the table legs. And then I am working on the fairy's clothing. I'm using a very pointed tip, rubber tipped paintbrush to get all the details on for the fairy. She's very tiny, but this worked better than a regular paintbrush, even a very fine tip paintbrush. I like the rubber tip for little things like this. And now I want to create a hangover of flowers from the upper pot all the way down to the pool. And I'm using these teeny tiny pink and purple flowers. I'm going to add a little bit of greenery right here. And then just make a cascade of those little flower buds all the way from the top, overflowing down and just to above the water line of the pond below. And I'm just using hot glue to put it on there. I think it just needed one little bit of floral over that edge right there. Working with hot glue is so stringy. I took little cut offs of the tips of the leaves that came on these flowers and curled them up and then just attached them in between, just to get a little bit of greenery in there as well. Then I want to add a little bit more color to the butterfly that I also made out of the Easy Sculpt Resin. I already gave it a layer of blue, and now I'm just giving it a little bit of yellow. So we have a friend turtle and a friend butterfly for the fairy. And there it is. So cute. And I want to now take the flower wreath and add some diamond glaze to the inside or the underside of the wreath, and attach it to the fairy's head. The diamond glaze will dry clear, so it wouldn't leave like maybe any residue like regular glue would or hot glue. So now I'm going to take you in for a close-up of all the details. I really had fun working on this project. Each little detail just kind of builds on the other and makes the project complete. My sculpting skills are not the best, but I did have fun creating her, and I call her Liliana. If you've enjoyed this video, please click like and share. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do so now. And ring that bell and you'll get notified when I upload future videos. And I hope you have enjoyed this one. And will join me on my next creative escapade.